Greetings. This video is to teach our people, the present, about the way of the elders in the Caribbean countries. Yeah? The way of the elders was every so often they come before we go back to school and they give us what we call a washout. Now we call it a cleansing. Any person from the Caribbean country will tell you that. The elders used to do that. The elders used to make sure that they give us a parasite cleanse regularly to remove parasites from the intestines. Because the elders knew for a fact that that organ called the colon, the large intestines, was the organ that will keep us well because it is a sewage system. It only collects garbage. So the elders knew. That's the reason why we must go back to the way of the elders. Yeah? Because now our young people are dying from cancer. We are suffering from diabetes at an alarming rate. People are losing their limbs. Pancreatic cancer is on the rise and colon cancer is on the rise also. Because we are not teaching the way of the elders. See? The elders used to go into the house and get what we call a bucket to use steam. My mom used to use Dettol, yeah, to clean the vagina so they don't get all these troubles in the reproductive system. The elders, yeah. The elders also used to make sure that if we have a cold, cough, flu, the elders used to go outside, get some kind of herb. Could it be Santa Maria? Could it be lemongrass? Could it be ven? Yeah? And they come back and they boil these plants. Yeah? And they make us drink these herbs. Yeah? And our cold disappear. So how come we are not teaching the way of the elders? Yeah? Every so often the elders used to make sure they give us this here. Sene. We call it sene pods. Or they give us what? Castor oil. The elders. They knew why. Because they knew for a fact that that colon is the sewage system that keeps garbage. So they knew in order for us to stay well, we had to clean up that organ. The elders used to also take a calabash. Now we call it cupping. The Chinese took it and advanced it in terms of we call it a cup. When you, the individual or the child, had a scraping on the hands, the elders used to take a calabash and use some oils and take a little razor blade and just give it a dash and they used to cup it out. See, it's called cupping, yeah? Cupping, yeah? And they move the blood. See? So that you don't get clot blood. The elders, they knew for a fact that these things could cause troubles long term. The Chinese man took it and put it like this, you know. I mean, he make it advance. He advanced it. But it all came from the elders, our African people. Yeah? Now they use moxbuction, where you move the stagnation by lighting this here and moving the blood. But the elders knew for a fact that once they clean the digestive system with these things, castor oil, and cenepods, masalva, cas, they knew. So then how come we're not living the way of the elders? We have to go back to the way of the elders. Otherwise, our children is going to keep getting sick with asthma and eczema and psoriasis. Because the elders knew for a fact that when the child had eczema, they used to go get some kakabeke and some coraili, they call it ceracine in Jamaica. And you know what they used to do? Wash the child, bathe the child in the coraili and the kakabeke. And then they rub the child's skin down with some oil, coconut oil and stuff. How come we are not teaching the way of the elders? Yeah? How come the Rockefellers now is taking over when the elders knew for a fact that what they had to do to keep us well? So I'm telling people today that we have to go and go back to the way of the elders. Otherwise, cancer is going to be one of the most detrimental disease out here today, because lots of Caribbean people is coming down with cancer. Cancer is the #1 killer of my country called Grenada. It's killing Grenadians like crazy. Cancer is the #2 killer of Americans. Over 500,000 people die every year from cancer in America. And Grenada is only 133 square miles, and the #1 killer of Grenadians is cancer. Men is now suffering from prostate cancer at a young age. Men is dying from prostate cancer at the age of 48 and 45 and 52, 56. Never heard before. And the African man in Africa, prostate cancer is unheard of. But once the African man leave Africa and come and migrate to America, prostate cancer increases. How come? Because of the diet. The diet that we are eating somebody else's diet. And once you start eating a next man's diet, you're going to get the next man's disease. And that's the reason why cancer is on the rise in Trinidad and Tobago. Cancer is on the rise in Antigua. Cancer is on the rise in Grenada, in Jamaica, in St. Lucia. It's on the rise. Why? Because we're not going back to the teaching of the elders. We have to go back to the teaching of the elders. And the elders knew. See? So, look at the elders right here. They knew that this organ was the key to survival, because this organ is the sewage system, and this organ corresponds to all the other organs in the body. Right over here is called the hepatic flexure, corresponds to your liver, your gallbladder, and your heart. Right on here correspond to what? The mammary glands and the thyroid gland. Over here they call the splenic flexure, is corresponding to your stomach. Over here, the descending colon correspond to what? Your kidney and your pancreas. Over here correspond to what? The woman's uterus and the man's prostate gland. And right over here corresponds to what? To the trachea and the lung. So how come we are not going back to the teaching of the elders? Yeah? We have to go back to the teaching of the elders, and only then, when we start taking care of this here, the lower burner, we call it now. Lower burner. We start taking care of the lower burner and the middle burner, then diseases will start. Stop it. We're going to stop diseases easy. Or it's going to be more difficult. So we have to go back to the teaching of the elders. If not, our children and their children and their children is going to come down with the same diseases that we seem to have on a regular basis. And that's the reason why I teach, or I give information and teach what the elders taught us. Have a blessed day. And don't forget to keep on cleaning and keep on detoxifying, because cancer is on the rise and it's taking over. And they're going to come into your house, and you're going to find that when it's reaching to your house, you're going to see or know what we're teaching you all the time. So don't let cancer develop in your system. Keep on cleaning. Go back to the ways of the elders. And once you go back to the way of the elders, it's a possibility that you might survive. Because 1 in every 3 persons today have cancer. And when you sit down in front of a doctor, in front of an oncologist, and he says to you, you have colon cancer, you have liver cancer, you have breast cancer, you have pancreatic cancer, you have stomach cancer, you have cancer of the brain, neuroblastoma, or you have what we call a carcinoma, or a sarcoma, or a multiple myeloma, or a T-cell lymphoma, or a non-Hodgkin lymphoma, and a lymphoma, and an HDLV virus. You can sit and think about what the elders taught us. Go back to the elders. Go back to the elders. Go back to the teachings of the elders. That's what I'm doing with my children. And they're surviving. There ain't no vaccines in their system. Yeah? Prevention is the key. Blessed love.